Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR. I am in front of the Indian River County Courthouse, Vero Beach, Florida, covering the Meghan Walsh, John Walsh custody battle case and what Meghan Walsh is going through. Meghan Walsh has been in this courthouse numerous times. Her father, John Walsh, the John Walsh, the America's Most Wanted John Walsh, has been trying to take away her 2 children from her and get custody of her children. And just recently, Meghan Walsh gave birth to a daughter, and 5 days after the birth of her daughter, 5 days, Indian River County Sheriffs came with Florida Department of Children's and Families, aka CPS, came to her home to take her 5-day-old baby daughter away from her. So Meghan Walsh been going through a lot with her own father. This is stuff that people don't really know about, right? Trying to share what's going on with the Meghan Walsh case with her own father, John Walsh. John Walsh is trying to take Meghan's children away from her. I'm out here covering the case. There's going to be a rally out here today in front of the courthouse, a rally in support of Meghan Walsh. I'm going to be covering Meghan Walsh's journey, what's going on with her through the entire process. So stick around, subscribe, share this video. Meghan Walsh, custody battle with her father, John Walsh. It's a sad situation. I was here a few months ago at a court hearing, and it was closed off to the public and media. Everyone was kicked out. Meghan Walsh was in there alone, defending herself pro se against an army of Department of Children and Family lawyers and individuals affiliated with John Walsh. So, Meghan Walsh. Google around, you can see for yourself of what's going on. The mainstream media at this time is not talking about this case. They are not talking about this case. I do support Meghan Walsh. I don't think any child should be taken away from their mother at birth. 5 days. She had her child for 5 days, a daughter. And they went to the door, Indian River County Sheriffs and CPS, with a signed court order from a judge from this courthouse here to take her child away. And they did. They did. Check my prior videos out about this travesty. I call it an injustice. I would love to hear from John Walsh. I would love to hear John Walsh's side of why he's doing this to Meghan Walsh. Why is John Walsh taking away Meghan's children away from her? Why? I want to hear his side. So I'm going to try my best to reach out to John Walsh. I don't know if he wants this out there like that, because, you know, that's his reputation. John Walsh, the one, you know, that protects children and fights to find fugitives of justice, America's Most Wanted. This is the same John Walsh. His son, Adam Walsh, was kidnapped in this area many years back. Meghan, his daughter, questioned a lot of things behind that, and this is what's happening to Meghan now. Her own children are being taken away from her. Coincidentally, after she started questioning about Adam Walsh. Interesting stuff. So stay tuned, stick around.
All right, Megan, I'll see you later. God bless.
Hey, baby back today.
Yeah, I'm gonna get.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you, John.
What's on here?
We're just doing a video with.
Okay,
with
we got to
John.
go through security because it starts in 15 minutes.
All right,
So, and
all
it should be a public hearing. So
Okay,
we'll
let's
go
hope so.
we'll go.
Yeah, we didn't know what happened last time.
We're gonna
Well, and if it's not, they'll let us know.
How are you?
How are you feeling today?
Jonathan, how are you? I'm feeling fine. I mean, as best as can be, right?
What's going on today?
It's a shelter petition for the baby, and by law, they should not be removing, separating, bonding babies with mothers. There's no law that supports that, and I don't know anyone in their right mind that would support that. So, you know, there was never an original investigation to begin with the original TICO order, and DCF hasn't followed the law one time in this. So it's time for the children to come home But you know, we're going to see what happens. We
You
don't
say
know.
children, all your children?
They all need to come home. This is done. This is fraud. If people cannot see what this is at this point, then we need a lot more hope to be given. Hi, Ryan.
Are you, do you have a lawyer, or are you going to be representing
My
yourself?
lawyer motioned to recuse herself yesterday sometime.
So what does that mean?
I don't know. I know, we're going. So we're going to see what that, okay. We're going to see what plays out. I need to ask for a continuance, and they need to keep my baby with me. I've worked with them. I've done and complied. We have half of an evaluation left to finish the case plan. They're supposed to come and do a home study, and they never showed up, but they returned the next night to steal.
What is their reasoning? What is the reasoning? What are they claiming
They said that they got a
for
false
taking your baby?
report. I've had stalkers and harassers, and they said they got a false report that they got a report that the baby was born and that it hadn't sought medical care. That it had just been to the doctor the day before. They already have the documentation.
This is a 5-day-old baby
Yeah,
that was taken
it is.
from you.
It is. It's wretched. And I hope that this whole country realizes what's going on, because they are literally doing this. You know, it's easy to say, oh, this and that about a mother or parents or anything. And I hope that people learn from that about humility and judgment and these things that we really need to remove from our society. It's done. Our children are precious, sacred gifts from God, and we have every right to it. Parental rights are highly at risk these days.
How you been coping,
Everyone.
since this happened?
I've been fine. We just have to keep the fight up, and the nation has been responding. So you know what? That gives me strength. I have God on my side, and I know that what is right will happen. This is happening for a reason, and my children need to suffer no longer. We've been terrorized for 1.5 years, so it's time.
Good luck.
Thank you. All right, you guys coming in? Or?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go.
No cigarettes,
No cigarettes, lighters, all that stuff passes?
Nope.
No, we don't hold them.
You gotta throw them away.
Throw them away or take it back out to your vehicle. Is it, whose phone is this?
It's mine.
Okay, I don't want you to walk away without your stuff. Okay.
Yeah, we can go up to the elevator and do that.
Do you expect John to be here today?
No, he's in the Finger Lakes with my children while they try to adopt them.
They're too big. Well, they're not interested, I don't believe in.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they're too busy on their vacation.
You look nice today, Megan.
Thank you. She looks very pretty.
Yes, it does. Oh, she told me poor thing, so it's you.
Thank you so much. Realizing that.
So
You know, for
before
other
you go into the
victims.
courthouse, what would you say to other people other mothers that are going through the same thing you're going through right now?
It's time to come together. I mean, so many mothers already have. We've been fighting. There have been mothers. I was involved in this before, you know, my children were ever even taken. And there are hundreds of thousands of parents, not just mothers, but many mothers, because they are being targeted these days. And we need to realize that. This also goes hand in hand with domestic violence and the issues there, as well as the father's rights movement and many other parental rights. So we need to address this. Other mothers that are coming, you know, that are going through this or have gone through it, or even children that were put through the system, and there are many that are now grown and want to speak out about what they endured and how that affected their life. You know, these people are not psychics like they're claiming these days at this point. And, you know, the adverse events that they say that they're trying to prevent, they're actually creating, and for money. And this affects all these families and children for the rest of their lives, while the judge sits behind a box and the lawyers look at paperwork. And that is not reality, and that's not serving or protecting us.
What is the judge's name that's handling this case?
The judge's name is Meadows, Robert Meadows. He's presiding over this since January. Michael Lynn was the previous judge that did the trial for my children.
Tell me about the day they came and took your daughter away. I remember you were saying they were at your home the night before.
Yeah,
authorities?
they came the night before when they were supposed to do a home study the day before to bring the children home. They did not show up. They did not contact us. They showed up the next night in the dark, in the rain, in a pandemic to take the baby. And when they didn't know if the baby was even here or anything like that, they said that they would talk to me tomorrow. And I said, I have documentation. We can talk, whatever you need. They said, okay. And then they left police out in front of our house all night long, shining their high beams on the home in the backyard, having the dog bark every time they switched, cars and all of this. It was horrible. And then they come and have a hearing the next morning to take the child and come and threaten us at the door, and not threaten, but come to the door with a whole SWAT team. And,
I saw
it was
multiple
just very
sheriffs there.
unfortunate.
I mean,
Yeah.
it had to be so traumatized. Not only just having your daughter being taken from your arms itself, but just the whole experience. You just gave birth.
Yeah, I did. And I've had my I've had my children taken, my home taken, my career taken. They're holding any finances that I have. And this is to break me. And you know what? Again, I know the truth, and my children need to come home. They beg to come home, and they know the truth. How is this going to affect them? Because John Walsh is now putting this in their history and in their story, and that's devastating. We've been through enough as a family. I forgive him, but they need help, and they need to be held accountable.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
All right, so there's Meghan Walsh there. She is going to go in front of Judge Meadows here in this courtroom here shortly. Can't bring in my recorder, can't bring in my videoing, so I will just go in there and observe and see what's going on, take notes, and I will come back and let you know what happened during these proceedings. This is an issue where her...
allowed to film people that don't give you...
Ma'am, I'm in a public square here.
I know, but I do not want to be filmed.
Okay, you don't have to be in film. So I'm a public square, and she didn't want to be filmed. I have no idea why. It's perfectly legal. I mean, but we're about to go into the courtroom. Might be a lawyer here that's trying to take Meghan's kids away, and possibly it could be a lawyer trying to take Meghan's kids away. So I don't know. So we're here. Meghan's about to go in, and we will cover this case. Why is Meghan's children being taken away? Why?
God, that will be done. Nothing I can do.
So you're saying there's a hearing going on in there right now?
Yeah, it appears so. They blocked me out of the courtroom. I will be done, Lord. Severe legal abuse that's done every day in this country, and degrading parents in these situations.
Did they tell you to be present at this court hearing?
Yeah. And the last one I didn't go to because she didn't notify, my lawyer didn't notify me. She did not call me when the hearing started, and I wasn't there. It was on Zoom. Nothing, and then blamed me for it. Also, I told her that I wasn't, because of pregnancy and everything, that I wasn't able to go to the mediation, and she said, okay, I'm going to tell them that you're sick. She made that up, and, I mean, I really am not here to bash people, but the truth needs to be out, and just every aspect of this has been, again, legal abuse, illegal. DCF has not followed the law at all, so.
So how many court hearings have you been to in
I
reference to
can't
this?
even imagine. We have almost 500 entries on the docket. Not one of my motions has been listened to. So, and the judge struck 24 in one day.
So every time you get notice of a court hearing, like, what does your mind go through? Like when you get these court hearings?
It's too much. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, and we should have the grace, by our system, pro se, leniency, understanding, especially in these kind of situations. It's very much the energy of an attack, or we're here to fight you. We've got this up our sleeve, and that energy and that intention coming from that place is not okay for these situations and dealing with families and children. It's not about that. This is supposed to be supportive services to families that are hurting across this country, especially right now. And our children, there's no reason to be removing children from homes and not offering services with our taxpayer money. That's where it needs to go. Not to stealing children profiting in these black suit courtrooms. It's a travesty to humanity.
Where's your daughter right now?
at a foster home somewhere. I've put in a lot of placement, wonderful. My childhood nanny is willing to take her in with her family, wonderful church families. People are coming out to support us from all over. But again, there's no law that we're aware of that, you know, says that you should remove a newborn child from the mother. They could put us somewhere and be supervised. I have a wonderful mother that I live with. We have everything set up for the children to come home. You know, they just keep adding and adding. And unfortunately, when I was an advocate before this, that's what we heard about. You know, I told them from the beginning, I really want to see you guys do the right thing in this. There's a huge opportunity to show that you all do what's right. And unfortunately, they've done every horror thing that we hear about and more.
I think the last time when I was here with you at your hearing a few months ago, I asked you, do you fear that they will come and take your newborn away from you? You said, yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? There was no reason to do it like that. There's no reason to take a newborn to begin with. They had been asking if I was pregnant since before, when I was weeks pregnant. I barely even knew.
Good luck, Megan.
Thank you.
Can we go in?
So, can't go in? So it's a closed hearing.
The last one that we were in there, they kicked us out.
So again, another custody issue with Meghan and the Florida Department of Children's and Families. They again closed the session, do not allow supporters of Meghan that are here to go and attend the court hearing. It seems like it's going on with her particular case. They're not making it open to the media like me, independent journalists, or supporters, or the public. Supporters of Meghan. So, not here. Supporters of Meghan outside the courtroom, waiting for Meghan to come out. She is inside the courtroom right now, having a closed door hearing.
They let them all go out the back.
Did they? Wow. That's how tired they are.
Yeah. I got a court-appointed attorney from Fort Pierce. There, John Jordan. So hopefully he'll do what's right. I need to eat something. Maybe we could go to the coffee. Oh, I know you have to get going, but we'll walk out if you want to ask him anything or do anything before that. We'll go to the coffee shop. You okay?
Yeah.
You need some water? Go get water.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
So what happened in
there? You know, they're being much more respectful. And I said, I'm not here to fight, you know, like, we just want justice to be served, so, and I'll tell you a little something in a second, too.
So, what's the next process?
So, he did just make the next hearing at 10 a.m. on Friday for pre-trial and arraignment. So,
And explain what an arraignment is.
Back in the morning. You know, I asked him to explain to me arraignment. He said basically that's where I say whether I'm guilty, not guilty, whatever. Which, not guilty, obviously. And that, you know, they would do the pre-trial after my attorney would be in contact with me, John Jordan in Fort Pierce. So let's see if he will step up. And you know, I called Sean McMillan. I've called him and put a call in. I've tried him several times over the past few days, and I did get through finally to his assistant. He was on a conference call.
So help the viewers understand, this is a civil proceeding. When you say arraignment on charges, what do you mean by that?
That's the thing, is that we have, you know, there are real neglect and abuse situations in our country, and we have a criminal justice system for that. That's how we should be handling and addressing these things. And unfortunately, we've allowed this system to exist that is civil. It's kangaroo court, and there is no law behind it. They're doing whatever they want. As you see, no one's allowed in once it gets to TPR, which should be the most transparent point of the process. Truly, we need accountability. We need transparency. We need auditing. You know, and we need people to do better. We need to change this perspective. We've been given a narrative.
Because there's no jury of your peers, right, in this case?
There's no jury of your peers at all.
And noticed when the hearing was supposed to be public, and noticed that the DCF and their lawyers went in there and had, for some reason, get your case to be closed, not allowing your supporters or the public to see what's going on. How do you feel about that?
And then manipulated, you know, everyone involved, including my father, manipulates it into that they're scared and, you know, oh, there's something, you know, dangerous here, there's something whatnot. No, you know, if you're doing what's right, then you don't have fear about that kind of stuff. I've had to walk into this with all my dad's buddies and all of this kind of thing, and I have to walk in there like Gideon, you know, it's incredible. So I just, you know, it is what it is at this point, and it's whether we want to do something as the people about it or not, if we're okay with this or not.
So did you feel like part of the process went on without you even being there?
Yeah, I mean, they're all having, they can have their secret meetings, they can have, you know, I mean, they put the white noise on, they do all of this, and they can do that, and they're all working together, they all take oaths to the same, you know, entity, and, you know, I mean, it's just, it's really wild. They're all working together.
You were locked outside, right?
Yeah, they'll, you know, they're going in and all talking, and, you know, she's saying that there's irreconcilable differences, and, you know, I don't know, guys, it's a mess, and people need to research, and people need to wake up, and we really, you know, if people aren't realizing through this, then I don't know what it'll take, to be honest, so.
Yep, they need to wake up. So what's the next step? Court on Friday?
Court on Friday, 10 a.m.
Right.
here at the Vero Beach, Indian River County Courthouse. It's an arraignment and pre-trial for the termination of my parental rights, which we should never even be discussing these things in America.
They're not even mentioning reunification at all.
They told, well, everyone that's involved in this kind of system and being victimized by it knows that, you know, they tell you, oh, we're doing the case plan, oh, we're doing the case plan, and you're doing great, and they keep adding things and different stuff, which we have seen in this, but I have spoken up about that. I've been very vocal in grace and truth, you know, that we've been doing everything on the case plan. I even just told the judge that we have a half of an evaluation that's parental, and they never came to do a home study on Wednesday because they knew that they were planning to take my baby, and they had all of this a day later, you know, when they could have easily, peacefully come in, seen the home study, saw that I had a baby, addressed that under their law of having a baby and combining it with the other case, and say, you know what, we see the truth here, we are working, and let's get this done with. You know, let's get these children back. Right. That's all we've ever asked for.
The best interest of the children, and you and everybody that's hearing me, no harm to no one. We just want the truth out there, correct?
Yeah.
You want your babies back.
Yeah, we just want the truth back. This is not just about Meghan Walsh and John Walsh's daughter. This is about CPS and DCF in our country, stealing our children. And no one in there is going to intimidate me or make me feel like I am wrong about that. We all see it. We all know. That's gaslighting. That is part of abuse if we're expected to ignore all of this all over our country. Cases and cases and cases have come forward, and they have been. Because I've been an advocate for years now, that we hear it all day long. And while we're standing here, children are being taken from loving families, being either put into foster care and drugged up, or they're being taken from beautiful families and homes that love them and put it and adopted out into the system, and all for money. These are commodities at this point in our country, and it needs to stop.
Once they get into DCF's costume.
Oh my gosh, the murder, the pedophilia, and yes, we're saying it. We're saying it. You know what? Yep. The public has been given these notions, and they've been given a narrative to mock it. And if you are at that point where you hear pedophilia, or you hear murder, or you hear that someone's children have been taken, and you want to work towards finding what's wrong with that person or shaming your fellow citizen, then you have a problem, truly, at this point. This is real in our country, this is real in our lives, and this is real in our families. And it's destroying our families and our children, which are our future.
Thank you, Megan. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you all for coming.
And we're going to stand behind you, and we're going to try to get more people behind you, and stand up for all the children, not just in Florida, but in this whole country. This whole system needs to be redone. And,
Yes.
And I hate that you're going through this, but Lord, you're a strong woman, and we're behind you.
Thank you. I want my brother Adam to be able to rest in
Yes,
peace.
we care
or
about
whatever
Adam,
is the truth of that to come forward. I want the people to have time and space to look into that. The records are all online. They are all public, and it's been 40 years.
Look
and
it up.
Yes, look it
up.
up.
Start
and look
researching,
into it.
people.
Don't believe us.
Because we are actually going to help protect missing and exploited children and children that are in these situations that we need. You know, my parents started in a certain way, and we are here to actually correct the issue. We can't have this anymore. And children are my life, and
Perhaps
my
this
children are.
is the 2.0 and get it right this time.
Absolutely.
I
And I have a lot of hope, and I know that there's
faith.
tons of us coming together. And that's all I've ever asked from the beginning, is for the people to come together and use your voice.
Wake up.
That's it. That's
Use
it.
your voice,
It's so
speak up.
simple. We want all these bigger things that we have to do, and we don't have to. We just use our voice and we come together, united for what's right. We use grace, we use truth, and we get justice. That's it.
Come
There's
together.
better ways. There's better ways, and there's so
And
many
we
people
can't
these
help
days that
families.
want to get involved and want to be
And
better.
we can't help families that do need help, but we need a system that's there for those families, that the goal is to help the whole family and get those children reunified if possible.
Absolutely.
To give the service.
Absolutely.
Yes.
These are adult issues. We should not, it's not that we care about children. We're not preying on our children. You take care of the parents. If somebody can't pay a bill that month, you help them. And then you help them in a supportive way to make sure that they can the next month. You know, whether it's a job or something, there are so many better ways to be helping and supporting our families, our precious families, and our sacred children in this country and all over the world. So I really have been so appreciative of all the people that have come forward, especially people within the system. There are good people in the system that want to do right. It's systemic at this point, and we need people to stand forward, come forward, be doing better and speaking out about what they have witnessed, as well as children that have grown up in the system.
Right. If you're working for any of these places, you can reach out to any of us, independent or whatever journalists, and we will keep you confidential, and we will try to investigate anything we can.
Yes.
With our means that we have.
Yes, we have
Which are
had
limited,
people.
but
We have
we'll
had
try.
people drop off this case, and there are people involved in this case that are not okay with it. They said, you know, we don't even feel like we're protecting children anymore. And to me, that's a victory.
Yeah.
That's a
Meghan, what
victory.
do you have to say to people out there now that have going through what you're going through? We've had hundreds of messages on our podcast page of people going through what you're going through. Give them some hope and some advice on what they can do.
Well, it's time. There's a lot of people. There are parents that have been fighting for this for decades, and it's time. It's time, and you have the chance now. You have the support. You're not alone anymore. You're not alone anymore. Your kids can come home. Even after TPR, even after everything, just come forward. Reach out to us. There's so many of us now in our team, and for this cause, just reach out to us, you know, and we will get in touch. But you are not alone, and you have a voice, and you have a right, and we know that you love your children. We know that. So let's all come together, let's all use our voice in peace and just be able to do what's right to bring children home. That's it. We just need to acknowledge that this is an issue.
Love wins. Love wins.
Love does win. And many people, unfortunately, have been given an excuse, you know, in society to say, oh, there must be another reason, or oh, this and that. No, they're out to save children. Stop for a minute. Just research. Look up family court corruption. Look up CPS corruption. Go on Facebook and look for groups. There are hundreds. There are tens of thousands of parents that have been protesting for years in the Midwest. We have huge states with huge issues going on, and everyone's speaking out. It's the time. It's the time.
It is. It's all timing. Everything.
Yes. So, you know, we
there's-
got it, and you know, it just has to happen. I don't know. I've spoken out for a year and a half and fought nonstop. It's just
We're gonna keep on fighting. Even when we get yours back, we'll keep on fighting for everybody else.
no, I will never stop. That, you know, I think that most people are aware of that, but thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Because again, this is not about just me. I will not stop fighting. I want better ways, and there are so many that are joining behind me, and I'm so blessed. You know, our angel army is coming together on earth, and I do believe that.
I do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.
So, out here, Indian River County Courthouse. Meghan Walsh, you just heard from her. She's going through the process. Her John Walsh with CPS or DCF, Child Protective Services, are trying to take away her children. 2 children. She just gave birth to a daughter. 5 days old baby was taken away from her. Taken away from her. So this is the Indian River Courthouse. Just came out of a court hearing.
Oh yeah, why are you here today? Meghan Walsh, yes. And all the children that are being illegally taken, right? And you?
I'm here for Meghan Walsh, and I'm here for saving the children, which is so important. Our children are our future, and if we can't fight for them, then we have nothing left.
I agree with you. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for standing behind Meghan. I know you have been for a long time, and it's appreciated. Standing up for all the children. I know you've been working on that for a while. I know you're working on things, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we'll spread this out whenever we can get it, guys.
So, support Meghan. Anyone else that's been, adversely affected like Meghan, reach out. I'll be covering this case. I'm trying to reach John Walsh to get his side, what he has to say about it. I do have his number. He doesn't respond to my text or call. What's going on here? Why is John Walsh trying to take away Meghan's children from her? I mean, CPS ripping a 5-day-old baby out of her hands is crazy. It literally is. I mean, I can't imagine having giving birth to a child and then having that child ripped out of the mother's arms days after the child is born and then put into the system. Meghan's child, in my opinion, should be under Meghan's care. So she's going through the process here, Indian River County Courthouse. Google the case, look around. Mainstream media is not talking about it, so it's independent journalists and supporters with these signs. Out here in support. All right, Jonathan Lee Riches, God bless, love your loved ones. So John, by you have been attending these proceedings, Meghan's proceedings, you're saying that John Walsh doesn't come through the front.
No, he doesn't. No, he comes through the back right here. Right here, all the chairs hang out back here.
So does he get special treatment?
Yeah. He gets special treatment. He doesn't have to go through the security. The sheriffs whisk him right through here. They come through the back here where the cameras are at. And they come through the back right here. Where this gate is right here. Kind of looks like the wall in Mexico. At least what it used to look like. And then open up the gate.
So this is where Indian River sheriffs come through.
And then that's where they let the court, the attorneys that were with DCF, they let them leave the courthouse through back here.
So they don't have to go through the metal detectors.
They didn't have to go through the front either. They went through the back. Yeah.
So there you have it, folks. The individuals that are centered around Meghan's case, they don't have to go through the metal detectors. John Walsh has been to Meghan's court hearing before. He gets escorted through the back of the courthouse here by Indian River sheriffs, and the CPS lawyers and CPS go through here. They don't go through the front.
Nope.
So special treatment, and everyone else, like Meghan, or the public, or the media, have to go through the front of the courthouse through the metal detectors.
And it's funny because the attorneys and the DCF girls all go out the back or whatever because they said they were concerned of the press. Well, the press is here. We're the press. There's no other mainstream media press here, so I don't know who they were worried about. We're just local individuals that live here. I live here. I'm not even press. I'm a podcast host. You know, I'm just here to support somebody and get their children back. You know, and they're worried about a guy like me. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to ask the questions that they don't want to answer. You know, and that's the sad part. And they would have ran away from us if we even tried to question them. That's the main thing that we have to see is that they didn't even want to go outside and even talk to somebody like me. What am I going to ask? Hey, you have a statement? You know, what do you think? What went on in the hearing?
They'll just say no comment, but you know they want to even avoid that. Exactly. They don't want to be seen.
They didn't want to see. They don't because you know why? Because the video went viral and now it's out in the public now. Before this was all behind closed doors. This wasn't happening, and now all of a sudden you got 1.5 million views on a viral video for 20 minutes. And now they don't want to come out the front door now all of a sudden. So that just goes to show you that the light is shining on the darkness. The cockroaches want to run away from the light, and that's understandable. I get it. But you have to face it. You have to face your fears. You chose to be in this business. You chose to be a part of this system. So you need to face your fears and go, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. You know, I don't think this is right. I should just quit this job. You know, that's what they should do. They should just quit. The mass exodus, quit the system, because once we stop supporting the system, then the system collapses. So if these people decide to quit, then guess what? Meghan gets her kids back. That's really what it comes down to. But they want to keep supporting the system. They want to support the matrix. They want to hold on to that system so bad because they want to go back to normal. Well, we're not going back to normal. This is a whole new world we're headed. So,
yeah, because if this is happening to Meghan, it sure will happen to others in the future, or past. Probably happened.
It's been happening. That's what shocked me the most. It's been happening in our town this long.
I think it's fair to say that this process needs to be investigated to a T.
Yeah,
understanding the whole fundamentals on how this could happen to a mother or any mother out there having their child taken away.
Yep.
Jonathan Lee Riches reporting, Meghan Walsh right here covering the case.
Done about that.